This short video is going to show you how to set up an assignment in Perusall. So we're in our library where we've uploaded from our last video, our website, our PDF, and our Word document. So if I want to create an assignment, I first need to have uploaded whatever document or web page or whichever of these kinds of things it is that I want students to interact with. So once I've done that, I'm going to go to assignments, and any created assignments will already be listed here. And I've already got add assignment, and I'm going to choose standard assignment. That's your best bet. There are some other options you can do, but this is the best way to do this. So I'm going to click standard assignment, and I'm just going to give it whatever name I want. We're going to start with practice workshop. So I'm going to call that. And then on deadline, I can identify a deadline. Let's say I want to make it May 12th. One important thing to note is that the time that it gives is generally going to be approximately the time at which you are making the assignment, unless you change that. And the nice thing is you can click end of day and it'll automatically become 11:59 p.m. You can obviously make it whatever day time it is that you want. So we got those two things, and then we click next step. And then this is where I'm going to select my content. So notice that it needs to be part of the library already. So I'm going to select happy birthdays. And you can either do all of the content. If you only want them to read certain pages, you can click that. You can choose the pages you want them to read. But I tend to go with assign all content, especially if they're workshopping something. I want to make sure that they're reading the whole thing. So I'm going to click next step here. And then here's where I can put any instructions that I would like. So I'm going to say, please insert a minimum of 6 original annotations or a combination of 6 original annotations and responses to comments already on the piece. Whatever it is that you want your instructions to be. You can select a visible starting date. So let's say I don't want students to work ahead too early. I can choose, let's say I choose Monday, May 5th, give them a whole week. You can assign things to specific students. If you've done multiple groups, you can make it specific groups. You can do the whole class, but you can exclude specific students. This is really helpful if you decide to do an assignment where you're putting the class into specific groups. So you four are going to read each other's work. You four are going to read this document. You four are going to read this document. It can be really helpful to only give access to specific students. That way you don't create any confusion. But for this assignment, I will just make it the entire class. I tend to not allow students to post anonymously. They have to take control for their work. If you want to make it an extra credit assignment, you can click that. If you want to make it an optional assignment, you can do that. If you want them not to get reminded, Perusall will send reminders to students through Canvas that they have something to still finish by the deadline. So I'm just going to do that and click OK. And now my assignment has been created. And so I'll just show you really quickly what students will see if they go into if you go into Student View. So when they go into this assignment, very slowly, sometimes Perusall has hiccups. So because it's the first time I got into this test student, it's trying to give me a tour. If I go to assignments, it's got the practice workshop, and they can click work on assignments. It will give them a tour when they first start using it, and then they can get going. Okay. One other thing I'm going to mention, when you are ready to evaluate whatever your way of doing this is, one nice thing is that if you just want to read individual students' comments one by one, which is what I do, you can click on the assignment and then click all comments. And then what you'll be able to do is you'll be able to scroll through individual people. So I only have the test person here because there's no real students right now, but you would be able to click these arrows back and forth and all of the students' comments would show up. You can even see how Perusall would score them if you're curious about that, but you don't want to actually use that. And those are the basics of how you make an assignment. If you have multiple assignments, the nice thing is they will be organized by deadline. So they will appear here all the way through. The next video in this series will show you how you can create an assignment in Canvas to link to this Perusall assignment. So be on the lookout for that next.